If I were running $1 million service business today, not a startup, not a side project, but a real established firm, this is exactly how I would use YouTube. Not to chase views, not to build a personal brand, and definitely not to become a creator. I'd use it as a business asset, and that distinction is where most advice goes wrong. At around the $1 million mark, something shifts. You've proven demand, you've delivered results, you're no longer guessing, but growth starts to kind of feel heavier and marketing takes more effort. Sales conversations take longer and lead quality becomes, well, inconsistent. Not bad, just inefficient. And that's the context this advice lives in. First, what I wouldn't do. Let's start here because this is important. If I ran $1 million service business, I would not post daily or chase trends or obsess over thumbnails or try to entertain the internet. None of that serves the business. At this stage, attention isn't the problem. Trust is. I would give YouTube one clear responsibility. Pre-sell my thinking before a sales conversation ever happens. That's it. Every video would exist to answer questions my best prospects already ask or should be asking. So let's go through some steps. Step one, I define the buyer, not the audience. And this is where most businesses slip up. I wouldn't think in terms of subscribers. I would think in terms of decision makers, buyers, partners, owners. People who can say yes. If a video does not help them understand me better, it doesn't get made. Step two, well, I'd build a small intentional video library. I wouldn't aim for volume. I would aim for coverage. Coverage of common objections, misconceptions, decision risks, trade-offs, the things that buyers quietly worry about before they ever reach out. 10 to 20 strong long-form videos can do more sales work than years of scattered marketing. Step three, I'd lead with perspective, not tactics. And here's a big one. I would not teach how-to content because anybody could publish that. Instead, I would talk about what I've seen go wrong or what doesn't work anymore or where businesses get stuck, why certain approaches fail. That's what experience sounds like, and experience is what sells at this level. Step four, I'd use YouTube to remove friction from sales. Every service business has friction. Explaining the same things, answering the same concerns, correcting assumptions, resetting expectations. I would design videos that absorb that friction. So when somebody books a call, they already know how I think, what I value, who I work best with. That alone changes conversion rates. Step five, I'd make peace with the timeline. And this matters because if I expected YouTube to replace leads in 30 days, I wouldn't do it. But if I wanted more stable inbound leads, higher quality conversations, less pressure on sales, more leverage over time, well then YouTube makes a lot of sense. It's not fast, but it's durable. Step six, I would ignore vanity metrics completely. Views don't impress me. Instead, I'd care about who is watching my videos, what questions they reference, how often videos come up in sales calls. One right client from one right video beats 10,000 irrelevant views. Step seven, I design YouTube around search and intent. I wouldn't rely on algorithms. I'd rely on intent. Videos would be built around questions like, is this worth it? How does this really work? What's the risk? What should we avoid? That's how YouTube becomes discoverable, not just today, but months and years from now. Step eight, I'd treat YouTube like infrastructure. And this is the mindset shift. I wouldn't treat YouTube as a campaign. I'd treat it like a website or a sales deck, a knowledge base, something that works quietly in the background every single day. This works especially well at around $1 million revenue level because your business already has substance. You already have opinions and patterns and experience and judgment. And YouTube just gives those things a permanent home. That's why it works better now than earlier. Now, I wouldn't expect YouTube to change everything, but I would expect fewer poor fit leads, more educated prospects, shorter sales cycles, more confidence in pricing, and really those are quite meaningful gains. I wouldn't expect explosive growth or instant demand or passive income fantasies. That's not how serious businesses grow. Most service businesses only explain their value one conversation at a time. YouTube lets you explain it once and then reuse it forever. That's pretty impressive leverage. And this isn't about being good on camera or personality. It's about clarity. You don't need to be charismatic. You just need to be clear. Clear thinking beats high energy every single time in B2B and professional services. If I were deciding today if I ran $1 million service business and wanted more control over leads and positioning, I'd start building this quietly, not loudly, not aggressively, but intentionally. If you're listening to this and wondering how this could apply to your business, there's a link in the description box to book a short call with me. No pressure, no selling, really just a practical conversation to see whether YouTube as a lead engine would actually make sense for your situation. And if it doesn't, well, I'll tell you that. At $1 million in revenue, growth doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing fewer things that work longer. Used correctly, YouTube can be one of those things. Thanks for watching. Check out one of these helpful videos next, and I'll see you there.